Let's solve Leetcode question 392 is subsequence. It's an easy Leetcode question, so giving two string s and t, return true if s is a subsequence of t or false otherwise. A subsequence of a string is a new string that formed from original string by deleting some, can be none of the character without disturbing the relative position of the remaining characters. So ACE is a subsequence of ABCD. While AEC is not. So it's all about the sequence. So the subsequence of the original string has to have the same sequence for the substring. In that case, you return true. Otherwise, you will have to return false in this case. It's all about the sequence. And remember that if S is none or the same string can also be the subsequence of itself. If one string or the entire string can also be the subsequence itself. And then here is another example, and it's false because I find 8, but there's no x and c is there, so it's false because the x does not exist. Here are some constraints, and there are some companies asked this question in the last 6 months, and Amazon asked 4 times. So definitely a great question to practice on also. And I'm gonna show you how we can solve this question here. And say the string S is ABC, right? And the T is A H B G D C, right? So then let's look at this. So when we the most efficient way for me is that you can use a 2-pointer, one pointing to the index in the S string, the other one pointing to the index in the T string here, and then you can just use let's say you use a I in the subsequence, and you use a I here, and if so you start iterate through the each beginning of each string, right? And then if you the most important thing is you find the S in T and maintain the same sequence. So what you do is does A equals to 8 when they both are at index 0, right? They are equal. If they are equal, I'm going to move on to move the shift the pointer in the S string to the next character to look for the next character in the T string, right? So then I'm gonna look if B equals to 8, it's not. So that I'm gonna shift the B to I, and then I'm gonna if the B the next character in S does not equal to the character in T, which B does not equal to H, right? I'm not gonna move S. I'm gonna just continue to move the I in the T string, and I'm gonna check B. Do they equal? Yes, they are equal. So I'm gonna continue to shift the pointer in the S string, and then I'm gonna check the next one. Is C equal to G? They're not. So I'm gonna continue to shift the I in the T, and is C equal to D? They're not. I'm gonna continue to shift the I in the T, right? And then is C equal to C? Yes, they are equal. So at this time, the I is already equal to the length of the entire S string. So if I go to the end of the S string, that means I already find the answer. In that case, you want to return true, and if not, then you want to return false in that case. And I'm gonna show you how to do this in code. So they both are I. I'm just gonna initialize or index Si and Ti equals to 0. Basically, Si is the index for the S string, and Ti is the index for the T string. And I'm gonna initialize both of them at 0 position, right? And I'm gonna go through this while loop while the SI string is not to the end of the entire length of the S string. And also the T string is not to the end of the string yet, because if S string to the end, I can go to the S string to the end, that means we already found the answer. And if T string get to the end, that means that we have not found the answer yet. So I would say SI is smaller than the length of the S string. And also at the same time, the TI is smaller than the length of the T string, right? So in this case, I'm going to continue to go through every single character in the S and T string. And how I do it is that I'm going to compare that if the S strings SI is equals to the T strings TI, if they are equal. So at the beginning, remember that the I is at the beginning, right? And when we were at the beginning, what we did, if they are equal to each other, we're gonna move the shift the index to the next one so that we can continue to look for the next character in the S string. So in that case, if they are equal, then we're gonna say SI, we're gonna plus 1, right? Until they are not equal. So then if they are not equal, let's say this one and this one, if they are not equal, like the B does not equal to H, right? What are we gonna do? If B does not equal to H, we're gonna shift the pointer in the T string to the next character to compare, right? That's what we're gonna do. TI plus 1 in that case. And then in the end, what we're checking is we continue to move the I in the S, and we find the last one that is a match. And remember that I said that because the while loop is that the index is smaller than the length of the S string. So if the index equals to the length of the string, that means that it's true that we already found the answer. Otherwise, if the index go to the end, it does not equal, or it cannot go to the end, it will not be equal to the length of the string. So the index equals to the length of the string, right? And then essentially we just need to return this, because if SI equals to the length of the string, it will return true. And if it's false, then it will return false in this case. That should be it for the code. If you think this is helpful, please like my video and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon with more Leetcode questions. Bye bye.